Definitely. Crack him.
Oh!
Nice.
Team wipe.
Original Wraith, original Wraith!
Nice.
It feels like absolutely ages away still, but the first big content update for Warzone 2 is coming probably at the beginning of February with Season 2, and I thought now would be a good time to go through some of the things I'd love to see. These aren't predictions, I don't think a lot of these things are going to happen, but the things that I personally would like that would make me a lot more interested in the game. While we're playing this, I'll put on a game that I didn't get many kills in this, but I had a lot of fun with some friends today. I really enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoy this style of me just kind of chatting about things with Call of Duty, please don't forget to leave a like and consider subscribing. So the first thing is a resurgence map. Now I know there's like leaks and rumours and stuff like that. I'm not really interested in any of that, but I do really hope they're going to bring a smaller map into the game. It seems crazy with the popularity of Rebirth Island and Fortune's Keep that we didn't get something like that at launch. I really hope we're going to get it sooner rather than later. To be honest, I'm surprised they didn't put Building 21 as something like that. Like, the map already exists. You already have all the stuff set up required for like looting and for players to shoot each other. I think it'd be really cool if you had like 8 teams on there and maybe the gas would seal off floors rather than just being a circle. That could be super awesome, and because there's only 8 teams, you'd win games so much more often, and I think people would really like that. I think that's one of the things people really like about Rebirth and Fortune's Keep, is how much easier it is to win a game. The games are shorter, so if you do badly it's not such like a big investment, and you're going to win a lot more often, so you're going to have more fun. So yeah, Building 21 seems like a no-brainer to me, but even if they don't bring that in with a Warzone mode, some sort of resurgence map. They could even put Rebirth Island in, I'd be happy with that. It was fun in Blackout, it was fun in Warzone, why not just do another new version of that with like a slightly different style, maybe a slightly different layout, some new Easter eggs maybe, all of that stuff would be absolutely awesome. The second thing I'd like them to change, and this is a massive thing really, because it affects quite a large part of the game, and that's melee. I just want them to tone down melee, and I'm talking about like when you hit someone with the butt of your gun. When you land at the beginning of a game, it's much faster to melee someone down than it is to shoot them, and that seems crazy. Like, the gun is more difficult to get shots with, it's more difficult to use up close, but it should be like a risk-reward thing, that if you use the gun, yeah, it's harder to hit your shots, but you're gonna do more damage to them. If you're meleeing them, it's really easy, you don't have to really aim or anything like that, but it should take a long time. If anything, it should maybe daze people a bit, but not do that much damage. I think, like, having melee weapons isn't a bad idea, and obviously with Vanguard, they really went hard with that. There was, like, loads of melee weapons, and that makes sense. If you've got a knife, if you're willing to give up one of your weapon slots to have some kind of melee weapon, that can be strong, sure, but don't have it so the butt of your gun is stronger than the bullets coming out of it. I'd kind of love it if someone like True Game Data or JGod or someone did a big list where they showed the bullet damage of every single gun and then where a melee hitting someone with the butt of your gun ranks, because I'm willing to bet it would be pretty near the top. It would also change the gulag, obviously, because in the gulag a lot of the time people are just throwing smoke grenades and running up and getting melee kills, because again, you don't need to aim, you just need to have a vague idea of where they are. And actually auto aim works quite well with melee. It sort of seems to follow people a lot better than it does when you're using some kind of gun. The third thing I'd like to change, and this is a bit sort of nebulous, but I'd like it if with DMZ moving forwards they didn't just do big drops of content at once. At launch we got 3 factions with 5 tiers each, so a bunch of missions, and it's lots, and I'm sure lots of people haven't even worked their way through it. I kind of burned through it for the sake of making videos and stuff. But I'd like it if, from now on, they took the kind of approach that other games do, like Fortnite. I've talked about this a few times before. I love how Fortnite does its missions where you get a few every Tuesday, then a few more every Thursday. You kind of get weekly releases for the different things. So maybe if there were another 3 factions for DMZ, you could get like 1 tier for one of the factions on one Monday, and then another tier for a different faction on Friday, and stuff like that. If every few days you got a few more missions to do, it would keep the mode going. It'd be a fun thing, like you'd look forward to the releases all the time, rather than having, you know, 100 hours of content all dropped at once at the beginning of the season. I'd much rather have 20 hours of content dropped every week, or, you know, even less, even if it was just a couple of hours. That would still be absolutely awesome. I think realistically we might get a new faction for DMZ, there haven't been any like really big clues in the intel or anything like that in the notes. There's a lot of talk about some people doing arms smuggling at the northern airfield, so maybe it could be something to do with that. Or there's the mysterious group that the chemist was working for and the people who control Building 21, which I still think is in Verdansk, by the way. But there's different directions they could go with introducing a new faction. To be honest, the story doesn't matter that much to me. I just want more stuff to do and more rewards, hopefully more sort of themed rewards. Like when you're doing the Black Mouse and White Lotus intel, the missions for it, you can get calling cards and emblems that tie in with that faction, which are cool, but then you just get like random gun skins and random operator skins. It would be nice if they started trying to like tie together the rewards and just made DMZ something that you'd keep checking back with every week. That would be absolutely awesome. So that's my hope for Season 2, is that they do bring in some new missions for DMZ, maybe a new faction, but they just drip feed us that content across the entire season, so we get a little bit every week. Now my next one, at number 4, is something that I think nearly everybody wants, and that's ranks. I'm not talking about a separate ranked playlist, although I know some people would like that and then they think they'd like one where there's no skill-based matchmaking. I've talked at length before about why I don't think that would work very well. But I do think the normal Warzone playlist should have ranks. So when you're playing, it should tell you, you're doing some placement matches at the beginning. Maybe you play 10 games of Warzone, then it says, okay, you're in silver. If you do badly in the next game, so you die in the top 50 teams or like beyond that, then maybe you're going to lose some points and you might go down to bronze, and maybe they'll be like bronze 1, bronze 2, bronze 3, bronze 4, etc. And then if you do well, you go up. And maybe after each game, it tells you what sort of lobby that was. So it gives you some official information on it, saying like, hey, we know you're in silver. That was actually a gold lobby, so we're going to give you some extra rank points because you did really well in that. Or, hey, we know you're in gold, but that was a silver lobby, so we're actually going to take a lot more points off you because you did badly in that. I think that would be really interesting. It would kind of defeat some of the things about people, VPNing and whatever, getting bot lobbies, because if at the end of all of their games you saw it come up saying, hey, this was a bronze lobby, you don't get any ranked points because you don't belong in here. I think that'd be a lot of fun, and it would give people something to grind towards, getting up to platinum, getting up to diamond, and maybe you could get a nice calling card or an emblem or something like that for what rank you're in. Like I said, I don't think this should be a separate mode. I just think they're ranking us anyway with the skill-based matchmaking. Why not just tell us what rank we're in? Have something like the Apex system or like the Rainbow Six Siege system where we can just see it and it gives us something to work towards. And then all of those people who say, oh, skill-based matchmaking, there's no point in like improving because it's not going to feel any different, you'd at least be able to see your progress. You'd be able to see where you're at against, the average of players. You'd be able to see things like, hey, I'm in the top 20% of players because I'm in diamond. That would be awesome. Then finally, and this is probably the most negative thing on my whole list, I just want them to get rid of perks. They fixed perks in a patch last night, so now Bird's Eye's working again. Every time anyone gets a UAV, you get an advanced UAV. It's absolutely insane. It's unbelievably broken. And then there's other things like High Alert and Ghost and stuff like that, Cold-Blooded, and it just really winds me up. One thing I've never really liked in games is when the enemy might have some big advantage and you've got no way of knowing. So right now in Warzone, you've got no way of knowing if another team that you're looking at, do they have High Alert? Do they have Bird's Eye? Do they have, Cold-Blooded on or whatever, or Ghost on? All of those things could give them a big advantage, and there's not really any way to tell, there's not some sort of effect on it. And that kind of annoys me a little bit. I just don't think it's a lot of fun to get killed by a team that all had Ghost on, or to get killed by a team that you didn't see on High Alert because they all had Cold-Blooded, or for a team to be able to rush over and find you because you activated a UAV and they've got Bird's Eye. It doesn't make for like more interesting gaming situations, it just makes for more frustrating ones. I don't really like it. I kind of just wish they'd put all the perks in the bin. When they launched Warzone 2, they said there weren't going to be any perks out at launch, and there weren't. And then they sort of seemed to give in super quickly. Actually, maybe there was perks at launch. I can't remember. Let me know in the comments. Was there perks in Warzone at launch? I don't know. But anyway, that's my list. That's things I want. There's also a bunch of other stuff I want them to change, but I know it's not particularly popular. I want them just to get rid of loadouts, to be honest. I don't think loadouts belong in the game. I don't find the game more fun because everyone's using an RPK and dual pistols or the Fennec or the Signal 50. I don't think that's more entertaining. I'd like it if there was like a regularly rotating pool of ground loot. That would be awesome. But I know I'm kind of in the minority with that, so never mind. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see, and don't forget to leave a like, consider subscribing, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.